Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Business and Experts Forum. This is a platform that is used for developing people and businesses through knowledge sharing. And we feature business executives, we feature budding businesses, and prospective entrepreneurs. We highlight the progress and achievement made by people willing to go the extra mile to improve their lifestyles and the lifestyles of those around them. So, the forum also features experts and specialists in their respective fields coming to share knowledge on everyday topical issues such as technology, finance, medicine, engineering, entertainment, social media, and the law, just to name a few. So, if you're someone who wants to go into business or to improve your business or gain knowledge, or if you want to develop your passion, talent, or hobby into a business venture, then this forum is for you. We're live every 2 weeks on Mondays at 7 p.m. GMT, and it's 2 p.m. Eastern Time if you are joining us from the USA. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive notifications when there is an episode. Right, so tonight we are going to talk about hobbies and transitioning of hobbies into business ventures. A lot of us take our hobbies for granted and do not make anything out of them. We practice them in our spare times and sometimes we use them to create values for others without considering the commercial aspects or the commercial nature of them. On the program tonight, we have with us a young man who has successfully undergone the transition. He found his interest in technology, and that led to his interest in cameras and eventually photography. He has since then made tremendous strides in the area of photography and media generally. He has huge aspirations in business, and it all started with possession of a camera and taking a shot of everything he found interesting. He's here to share the story of his journey, the ups and downs, the sweet and the sour, and some of the hidden facts about transforming hobbies into businesses. So if you have a hobby, then this is the time to pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jeffrey Osetutu, simply known as JOT, to the Business and Experts Forum.
Hi, what an introduction, Mr. Cater.
JOT, you
Yes,
are
sir.
welcome to Business and Experts Forum. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm doing great.
Good. Okay, so I must tell you that we have quite a few questions for you on this, and you have a unique venture that we want to talk about. We want to delve into a little bit more. We're
Yeah.
just simply going to start by asking you how was growing up been for you. So if you we talk about Jeffrey growing up, how has it been? How has it been for you?
Um, I've had a good life to be honest so far. I started went to obviously secondary school, then from secondary school, but during my secondary school years, my grades were terrible. I
Okay,
didn't pay attention in class. This is all going out now. I didn't pay
naughty
attention in
boy.
class. um, my grades were really bad, really, really bad. I got a couple Fs, Us, but in IT, which was like my favorite thing, I done really well in, and I
Okay.
done really well in art. Um, so they're the two areas that I really enjoy. So I'm really a tech nerd, and I'm into like art. So yeah, that's where the kind of photography comes into play. But yeah, my early years of education was very, very bad.
Okay, it's interesting that you mentioned that, isn't it? Because I mean, sometimes we kind of ignore the fact that people make things out of nothing, and you are an
Yeah,
example where you've confessed that your early years in terms of education wasn't great.
yeah.
However, you have made something out of it. So what I want to find out then is that how did you get yourself into photography?
So funny enough, I'd done a degree in multimedia,
Okay.
um, but we never ever during multimedia touched upon photography. We done video editing, which I hated, but we never touched upon photography. And I've always had the passion for taking pictures ever since I was young.
Okay.
One of my aunts, Auntie Amelia, bought me a Fisher Price camera back in the days, and I still have it till today. And I started using that to take pictures around the house or family and stuff like that. And I just had the eye for photography. And then one day I was at an event that my friend was documenting. It was a wedding, and he left something in the car, and he was like, "Take the camera and just take pictures." I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, just take pictures. I need to get some from the car." So I took the pictures for him, and he came back and was like, "Wow, these are actually good images."
Okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, I used to do like photography. Um, I even used to do it for Ghana independence raves and stuff. But yeah, that's another story for another day. Um, but yeah, so I couldn't afford my camera at that time, so I was actually working for a company called Sankofa magazine, and
Okay.
they used to take me. I was like 15, and I was going to like these raves, over 18 raves, just to take pictures. I couldn't afford my camera at the time, and then I think the company went bust, so my photography journey kind of ended there, and it kind of picked back up when I met my friend at this event. So yeah.
Okay. Has there been any unforgettable experience in your photography business? So you definitely must have had an episode where an encounter somewhere that is honestly unforgettable, memorable one.
Um, I'd say one in the early years. You're kind of not just still like a newbie to taking pictures and stuff, and I went unprepared. I didn't have enough memory cards to document the day. It was a birthday, so I was literally going along. Hope the client's not watching, and I was actually like deleting some of the rubbish images just to compensate for like getting extra images throughout the day.
Okay. Okay. So let's say I mean if I have a camera,
Yeah,
because you started by saying that there was a camera left in the car and you were asked to take some pictures, you did it, and then they
yeah,
turned out really well. So
yeah.
if I have a camera, can I then become a photographer just like you? Is it just straightforward?
Um, yeah, you can take pictures, but it's also like having the eye for like composition, angles, use of lighting is a very, very key factor in taking pictures. So, I mean, you can with some training, definitely.
And that is exactly the point I want to make. So it is not just carrying a camera that makes you a photographer. They have to have some technical skills. So I want you to dwell a bit more on those technical skills for us, because you mentioned light angles and things like that. Can you elaborate on a bit more on those for those of us who maybe have got cameras and we have got aspirations of
Yeah.
becoming photographers, but we think it's just a simple thing as just taking pictures, but there's more to it than that. That's what you just said.
Yeah. So I would say one key thing for me, how I was able to like evolve in the photography business, is I found a mentor. Um,
Okay.
and he was an amazing. He is an amazing guy. I found two mentors actually. One who specializes in weddings, and then another one who's more like commercial, corporate portraiture. The portraiture person is Bob Pixel. He sadly passed away earlier on this year.
Okay.
He was a tremendous and amazing mentor to me. All my portraiture stuff, he's the one who taught me. And then another one was Judea Lakija. He trained me a lot, showed me how to take pictures at weddings, and just to be fearless. Like,
Okay.
don't think like you're too close to someone. That's when you're likely to get the better shots, because when you get the closer you get, the more emotion. Like, it's like people can feel your images when you get closer, to take shots and stuff like that.
Okay, so there is an element of mentorship there. That's what you are
Definitely,
saying.
definitely.
You need to kind of learn from the experts. You need to be humble enough to learn from the experts. That really helps, and that has
Yeah,
really helped you.
yeah. And
Would you?
I
Yeah.
also did go for training
Okay.
in America. It's probably one of the most expensive uh, training courses that I went to, um, based in Charleston.
Okay.
It was like a 3 day, almost like 20 hours intense workshop. Wasn't cheap though. It was very
Okay.
expensive.
So
Yeah.
what are the kind of things that you learned doing those workshops?
So it was from everything. So from the business side of photography, how to do food photography, wedding photography, portraits, how to do marketing. It was by a company called Christmas Studios. They're still around, a very very successful business. Um, but yeah, it was very very intense, and I
So
learned a lot.
so just tell me this. So after you took that photo that lady from the car, at
Yep.
what point did you decide that actually I want to go into this professionally? What
That's
was it? What was the trigger point?
I just finished my master's actually in multimedia, and that was when the crash happened, the financial crash.
Okay.
So I couldn't get work. I was
Right.
applying to so many places. Even I used to be in IT tech support. I was
Right.
applying in tech support, still couldn't get any work. Multimedia web design, still couldn't get any work. And then I was like, I'm going to pursue this career in photography. And I thank God because my parents weren't one of those parents that, oh, you must become a lawyer, you must become a doctor or something like that. They gave me like free reign of like what I wanted to do, and they could see like the images like getting better and better each time that I went out to work. So yeah, that's kind of it's basically the financial crash which helps me
So you actually turned that misfortune into a blessing in disguise. So you basically,
100%.
yeah, you turn it around. So you basically didn't fold your arms and feel sorry for it for yourself, but you took the bull by the horns. Basically, decided, look, I have something
Yeah,
that I can
yeah,
utilize just to turn the situation around for myself, and you did that. Well done, well done.
exactly that.
Um, if you have any questions for JOT, please put them in the chat, and then we'll endeavor to ask him as many of the questions that come into the chat. And also, for those who have only just joined us, we are talking to JOT. JOT is has turned his hobby of photography into a global business. And as we go along, you would get to understand why I say it's a global business, because he's truly a global businessman. Okay, right. So, JOT, what currently, look, with the introduction of phones and smartphones for that
Yeah,
matter, anybody carrying a phone thinks they're the photographer, because you can, I mean, some of the phones are very sophisticated and you
yeah.
can take very good pictures. How has that impacted on commercial business of photography?
Um, I mean, you wouldn't. I know people go to like weddings and stuff and take their phones out and take pictures, but the quality is just not the same in what you can do. Like with the camera that I've got, there's a feature in there where you can shoot raw, and it allows you to when you're editing to like dive deep into like the you can get the best out of the file basically. I know I think Samsung and iPhone have now tried to implement that feature into phone, but it's just not the same. The dynamic range is just not the same.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is that it's not just a case of having something that has got a camera on it. You need
Yeah,
to have an equipment that can do certain things. Equipment that has got certain features.
yeah. I
So
would say certain features, and also it's not like you can give me an iPhone, and I'm sure I could still take some good imagery with it. Um, so I think it's the more so the knowledge of how to use the
right,
product.
the scale.
Yeah, yeah. So I always get people saying, "Oh, your camera is a good camera," you know. And I say to the person, if I was to give you this camera and mess up the settings, it's not going to be a good camera to you,
Right, right,
type thing. So
right.
yeah, it's more so the knowledge.
So yes, so and that knowledge is what you gain through the training and the mentorship,
Yeah, yeah,
basically. So that kind of helps as well. Okay, so that's interesting. It's interesting listening to you, Jeffrey, because I'm trying to kind of draw the journey. You
yeah,
started off thinking that you could offer nothing because your grades were not so
yeah,
good in school. You got an opportunity where you were asked to take a picture. You took that picture, and then the financial crash came. You couldn't find a job, and you thought, I had something I could use. You took the bull by the horns, and then
yeah,
used your hobby and your talent into something that has turned into a
yeah,
global icon. So I think that it's interesting for our audience who are people who are listening, and sometimes people feel sorry for themselves. They need to kind of learn from that and say, look,
yeah,
there's always something that you have that you can use basically.
yeah,
So as a professional photographer,
yeah,
what would you say is your perfect picture? I know we have some pictures that you've taken that
yeah.
we can go through. So as we go through those pictures, maybe you can tell us what is unique about those pictures that makes them perfect.
Okay,
Because obviously you would have edited them, sifted through, and selected the
yeah.
best. What is it that makes them perfect? So I'll ask my technical director to run through a few of those pictures for us to see.
Okay. I wouldn't say I actually have a perfect picture. Okay, so this picture here was one of my very first weddings. I would never take a picture like this again. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, one of my very, very first weddings. Um, that's about 11, 12 years ago. And this is from one of my recent weddings. This is like the before. So what we do is I take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the before, sorry. So
Right.
this is what a raw image can do. So I would
Right.
take a picture like this. I'm guessing someone like you would probably delete it
Right. Can we go
because
back?
it's
Can
because
we go
it's
back, technical director? Let's see the before and after.
yeah. So
Yeah.
someone like you probably would have deleted that image, right?
Right.
Because it's dark. But this is the edited image of
Right.
yeah.
Okay. And
So
did you do
this
all of that with the camera, or did you have to
no.
get a software?
So I use Lightroom and Photoshop to do the post production.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And this
So
is another reason why clients are like, "Oh, we want the raw files. We want the raw files," and I'm like, "No, you're not getting it." So this just shows why um, I don't give them out. And this is the Afrobeat artist David O. I've done some work for him in the past. And
okay.
this was taken in Ghana at the Ghana Independence Square, one of the Ghana Independence Days where Mugabe was sleeping. And this is one of like my key highlights is working with the old president,
The
John
former
Dramani,
president,
yeah,
former
former
president
president,
of the of
yeah.
okay, Ghana.
And this one here, the Queen, she was going to address Parliament, and I was lucky to get a shot of her looking directly into my lens.
Okay.
And this is me at work in Lake Como to seize the opportunity to take a pic. This is another one
Right.
here at Ghana Independence Square.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
a celebrity, Julia Ibrahim from
Okay.
Ghana.
Right.
Um, and I like taking like landscapes and when I go away to do work. So this was taken in Athens. And this is another thing that I like to do when I go to Ghana. I like to document like workers out and around the town.
Okay.
And this is some of my portrait studio work. So it
Okay.
ranges, like my work ranges from like weddings to portraiture to
Okay.
and
Okay.
other stuff.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
food
Well,
photography, if you like food.
interest. Interesting pictures there. So there is a question in the chat that's asking, what sets you apart from other photographers? What would you say sets you apart from other photographers?
I see. With me, I'm all about clean imagery, um, making sure my colors stand out. I've seen someone said no picture of me. It's
Uh,
already in there somewhere. And I just like all my images to be clean, to have color, and
okay.
I see Von Nelson. And when you people, a lot of people when they see my pictures, they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is one of my mentors, by the way."
Right.
At the moment, a lot of people say, "Oh, we like how clean your images are. We like the color. We like the
Right.
clarity." And when they see a slideshow, they just say, "We like the way you tell the story via images." Because I'm someone
So
that writing things down, words kind of fail me, so I try to express myself via imagery.
so when you talk about the when they talk about the color of the
Yeah,
photography, is it a feature from the camera, or is it something a skill that you have?
it's more so how I do my editing, the post production.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give someone who is new to photography? That's another question from in the chat.
Okay. When it comes to photography, I'll definitely say keep shooting. Never think that you've arrived, like you've made it in photography, because never ending journey. There's always something to learn. So keep shooting. Um, like even like if it's an empty room, you can find something to shoot. Work on your composition, work on your angles, working in different light sources like daylight or working in studio, working at night because nighttime photography is challenging to a lot of people. Um, Even when I first started photography, every time I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go outside," because I was using daylight. And when it got dark, I was like, "I'm not shooting." So I had to kind of adapt and learn how to shoot in various lighting conditions.
Okay. Okay. Do you get a brief for professional event shoot from your clients, or do you just use your initiative to create photos of the event?
Okay, so I'll say 90% of my work is wedding photography. So there's normally like a structure of obviously you've got the bridal prep, groom prep, you go to the ceremony,
Right.
church ceremony. Then you've got like the formal pictures. From formal pictures, you go to the reception, and it's like eating. Then from the eating, more so the what's the word again? I've lost it. Um, Speeches. Sorry, from speeches, then onto dance, dance, dance. So there's that structure, and it kind of doesn't change much unless it's like a high end wedding where they've got like ballet dancers and all of this other extra jazz in there.
Okay. Do you like taking pictures of yourself?
Ha, funny enough, in my phone, if you was probably to go through my phone, you probably find only like professional pictures of me, probably about 10. I
And
don't, I
why
don't,
and why is
I don't
that?
like taking pictures. It's weird. I know. I don't know. I just don't take pictures, in all honesty. But I love taking pictures of other people.
Okay, so if
Yeah.
I took a picture of you, how would you feel?
I wouldn't feel like a certain way, but for me to like book a studio and get one of my fellow colleagues or professionals to take a picture of me is it's not something that I'll do. I need to do it though because it's all memories and it's good. They're good to have.
Okay, so if I told you that I have a picture of you when you were a little boy, and I'm going to share it on this media, what would you say?
You can share it. People can see the progress, isn't it?
No, 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 it's okay. I actually don't have that. So I know that you have become very global, JOT. You've
Yeah,
traveled around the world,
yeah.
all as a result of photography. Can
Yeah.
you just share some of your experiences with with the audience globally? Some of the exposures that you've had.
Okay. I'll start with my home country, Ghana. I tend to go there normally in December to just document stuff. I'm trying to work on an exhibition. Um, Everything is all based around Ghana. The workers from the high end down to like the street hawkers. So I'm working on an exhibition to do that. But one of the key weddings that I done, it wasn't my wedding, but I was second shooting for a friend, was for the president of Sierra Leone. His daughter was getting married, and that was a huge eye opener. Very demanding, very hectic, very intense. But it was a great learning curve. Like you have to really think on your feet. You've got 1,500 guests. Last minute when we got there, we had to fly in. I think three other photographers because just the two of us wouldn't be able to handle the 1,005. And it was like 35 degrees, scorching heat, and you're
Right.
working for the president's daughter. So you have to come with your A game.
How did you get into that kind of
It
business?
was actually it was my friend's job, to be honest, but
Okay.
he needed me to help him out with this job, and it's just it was a great eye opener. The protocols were amazing. You had dignitaries from all over the world, Nigeria, Ghana. We're talking like presidents coming in. So documenting them wasn't easy because of security as well. But we got the job done.
Okay. You seem to be someone who is always on the move, doing business, taking photographs, um, being global. When do you get a chance to have a laugh? Do you ever get a chance to have a laugh? When it's fun time for you? Apart from
Um,
taking photos, of course.
I rarely go on holiday. Most of the travels that I do, a lot of it is is work. Apart from if I do go in December, I try not to work, but somehow work pops up. Um, but yeah, I need to make time to travel and just relax because it's from one job you're gonna come home and then you're editing for like hours upon hours, and then you're responding to emails, responding to clients and stuff like that. So photography is very very like demanding, especially on the body as well. A lot of squatting, kneeling, sitting on the floor, and stuff like that.
I
So
see. Good.
very demanding.
How large is the market for photography business? Yeah, how large is the market out there? So
It's
is it a market that is already saturated, or is there are there still opportunities for people to go into it? For people who are thinking maybe go into that kind of venture.
I mean, it's some people will say saturated, but there's you just need to find your niche within the market. Um, I mean, how many people are selling trainers? That's the question. Um, there's a lot of them. You've got Nike, Adidas, and Puma, and what have you. So you just need to find your niche and get into it. I know I have a friend who she gets booked at weddings in Nigeria just to photograph decor, nothing else. She doesn't even like photographing human beings,
Okay,
just decor. That's what she does, and
okay.
she's amazing at it. So
So she basically found a niche, and that seems to be working well for her. So
exactly that.
so basically, what you are saying is that you don't necessarily have to be photographing people or events. You could actually start photographing objects,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Product photography is huge. For someone who's like maybe designing clothes, a lot of people think, oh, I need to focus on getting the design of the clothes right. But then they forget, okay, I've got the clothes now. How do I get it out there? How do I market it? You're gonna need pictures, or you might need a video to support your marketing strategy. So yeah, that's definitely one thing for people to look at. So if you need product photography done, call me.
okay, we're going to be talking about the money bit about photograph, but I've got a few questions in the chat
Yeah.
that I want to kind of bring up. First of all, there's one that says, "How did you find the confidence to pursue this professionally?"
It took me years, actually. I used to shy away. Um, I'd take pictures from. I have this long lens. It's a 70 to 200. So I'd go to events. I could stand somewhere far, capture someone, and not be in their face. But whilst doing that, I realized I was becoming like lazy in my approach into photography. So my mentor was like, "No, you need to buy a 35 lens, which is more like a documentary lens to use, and that helps you to get closer. When you get closer, you can feel more emotion in the images. So it did take me a long time, but to the point now, literally, it's not like I don't care, but if I have to do it, I'll do it. I'll get the job done because you're being
Okay,
paid for a service at the end of the day, so you can't let your clients down.
okay. So, have you ever met anyone who has a phobia of having their image taken?
Yeah, I have actually. Actually had a shoot today just before I came on to this live, and like her confidence had been knocked totally. Been told she's not pretty, and
It's a lady.
yeah, a lady.
Okay.
She's been told she's not pretty. Um, she doesn't want to take pictures. So I took her. I was actually shooting for her friend, who's a makeup artist. I took her picture, and I showed her the back of the camera, and she was like, "Wow, it's nice." I was like, "Yeah." And she had done her makeup really well as well. And she's actually got good images out of it. And she's actually starting a clothing line, and she's now had the confidence to become the face of her line.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
literally
Okay.
today, literally. So
All right. So you are turning people's lives around as
we'll
well as
try. And
doing.
I've had a gentleman who had like a scar on his face. And so he was like, no, he doesn't want to photograph the side where the scar is. He wants to use the other side. I'm like, no, this is a part of you. And I'm not going to edit it out. So let's show it in a certain way. And I arranged the lighting in the studio. He loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. There's another question in the chat. Says that how has your wife been handling your not being around a lot of the time?
Well, she's very, very, my lady is very, very supportive. She obviously at times when I'm going, it's like, no, don't go. But um, the money is coming in as well, so she gets a few gifts here and there. But
Okay.
no, she's 100% extremely supportive. Even when it's like long periods away, she still understands that it's work is work at the end of the day.
Okay. Okay. So and then finally from the chat, you've taken pictures of presidents. Would you say you've achieved your dreams, or is there more for you to achieve?
There's definitely for me more for me to achieve. Sorry,
What would that be?
um, to actually become a presidential photographer. I would say that's probably like one of my dreams and ambitions in life is to become the president's photographer.
So what's the difference between taking pictures for the president and becoming a presidential photographer?
So the presidential photographer, you're everywhere. Every
Okay.
meeting, you're there. Traveling, you're there. Because you need to document everything. Like there's Obama's photographer called Pete D'Souza. I don't think there's not one meeting that he probably didn't sit in.
Right.
Even to the point of when they were going to look for Osama bin Laden, definitely he would have been there. So it's just following and documenting, and you always get like interesting pictures
Okay.
from what I've seen of like some of my friends who are presidential photographers in Nigeria.
Okay. I say good. You got a lot of questions flying in, JOT. I'll go back to the questions in the chat in a minute, but I just
Okay.
want to find out from you. All of that equipment that you need for photography obviously costs money.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand how you finance your equipment for your business.
Initially, at first, my parents had to beg them. They bought my first camera, which was about at the time it was like £750. Wasn't cheap at all. And then as I started progressing, I was saving money, and then I was like, no, I want to do it large scale. So I took a small business loan to buy a whole heap of gear. I think it was almost about £8,000 because cameras are very expensive. So I took a small business loan, um, and from that, my work started improving. I started upping my price, and things kind of like took off from there.
Are you very expensive?
I'm very reasonable.
Where
Yeah.
reasonable means what? Because that's subjective, isn't it? Your reasonable could be £1,000, and somebody's
Well, it depends. I'm reasonable, depending on what your task is that you want me to do.
the brief,
Yeah,
basically.
the brief. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Right. So if you have just joined us, we've been talking to Jeffrey Osetutu, popularly known as JOT. And JOT is someone who have found interest in technology and then started learning how to use cameras. Eventually, he's turned to photography, and through that has become a media, well, how would I say, guru, or what you want to call yourself. He's global photographer. He travels around the world photographing, and it all started from someone who had very little confidence in himself in terms of his schooling. He thought that he had nothing to offer academically, but he turned it around, and he's become a global icon when it comes to photography and business. So it's an opportunity for some of us who maybe you don't have confidence in yourself, or maybe you think you feel sorry for yourself because you think you don't have enough, just to turn around, see what hobbies you have, the talents you have, and you just know that there is always an opportunity to turn it around to make your life better. Okay, so just going on from there, JOT, what are some of the deterrents, some of the stumbling blocks on your journey? What has been some of the stumbling blocks on your journey, and how have you overcome them?
Um, to be honest, COVID was hell. Um, Terrible. Yeah, weddings being cancelled left and right. Um, During that, couples were breaking up. Some couples falling pregnant and saying they're not doing the wedding anymore. They're just
Oh,
going to focus on their baby. So it was extremely challenging. Extremely challenging. Then some couples saying that they're gonna they just want their money back. They want a refund
okay,
of the full amount. So it was challenging, extremely
right.
challenging. But we made it through.
How
God's
did you
definitely.
how did you get through them?
I mean, it was all about discussing with the client. Like, look,
Right.
I know you're going through a tough time. I'm going through a tough time. Let's kind of be reasonable about it, because some of them were still doing the wedding, but they just wanted to cut their budget. But I had a strong contract in place though. I've got a good lawyer who done my contracts, and it would mean they were kind of breaching it as well. But I did compensate them in the way of, okay, if you don't want to do the full wedding, we can use it for maybe like a maternity shoot. We can use it
Okay.
for your child's cake smash. We can use it for their first birthday.
Right.
So not all was lost, if you get what I mean.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was able to like move things around.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Have you always been this cool? You seem very relaxed and cool. Have you always been this cool?
I'm always cool. I'm very chill. I'm very, very chilled. But when I'm at work,
Richard.
I'm a different person. You hear me screaming and shouting at people, but yeah,
Oh, you do?
not shouting like that, but just to get people into order, type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and calling that names.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There is a question in the chat that says that how do you escape creator's block? I don't know what that is. What does that mean?
Oh, for me, when I like have a creator's block in
What
photography,
What is that in the first place? What is
it's
creator's
like
block?
when you're just lost. You don't know what to do. Like
Okay.
if someone has said to me, "Oh, let's do a studio shoot," and it's like a beauty shoot, it's how to pose someone, how to do certain things. Sometimes your mind just goes blank. I normally check online, check my mentor's work, see what they've done, and just kind of take it from there. But
Okay.
there's times where I've been like to the client, "Oh, I'm just going to the toilet quickly." I've called my mentor. Yeah, I've called them. There's no harm in that,
Okay.
to execute the job. I've called my mentor and explained to him the situation. Oh, the lighting is not going how it should go, and then he's just told me what to do, and it's worked out. So at the end of the day, I think it's all down to like acquiring knowledge
Right.
and just
Right.
practicing and practicing.
It comes with experience, obviously, with the exposure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What makes a wedding great for a photographer?
I would say
There's a question in
action.
the chat. Action.
I would say, yeah, there has to be action because the moment like there's like a decline in things not happening, then you're just going to go around photographing people on tables. But when there's
Right.
something always happening, like maybe someone's dancing, someone's giving a speech, um, and there's good vibes and good energy at the wedding, and you've got a good MC like Mr. Tando, you're good.
I was gonna say, how do you ensure that there is action? But that obviously means that you must kind of relate to. You must kind of how to interact with the MC more or less.
Yeah, yeah. I've got like obviously I have some vendors that I work with who are really close to me. Mr. Tando MC is definitely one of them. Great MC.
Okay.
Makeup artist Jackie,
Okay.
um, Jab, and also great production company Platinum Ace. So yeah, we really work together. We gel together when it comes to the wedding and events industry.
So you do have a kind of um, a group, yeah, a partner.
Yeah,
You have some form of
yeah,
partnership with certain professionals as well that make sure that the quality of whatever you deliver is super,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
What is another question in there? What would you say makes you unique in the industry?
Unique. Years of experience, learning how to deal with extremely, extremely troublesome guests and just delivering on time and giving out great quality work. I would say is like my key factors. And clear, clean images is what you'll definitely get from me.
Okay. So does that how does that compare with your competitors? Because obviously you have competitors who may be doing something similar to what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has the kind of photographer that they're looking for, and your client, you will know your clients when they even reach out to you, because you sometimes you get generic email. Hi, my wedding date is the 25th of May, 2022. Are you available? That's not my client. I definitely know for starters, because if it is my client, they will say, "Hi, Jeffrey," or "Hi, Jerry T. My name is. Our wedding date is so and so. We've been following you." As soon as they say we've been following you for a certain period of time, you know already this is someone that you're going to engage with. They
Okay.
understand like how you take your pictures because they've been following your work. So my clients kind of know me, and when I see their emails, I know them.
Okay. Okay. So there's another question in the chat. There's so many questions coming your way, JOT.
Yeah.
How do you deal with unhappy clients? That is, clients who don't like the end results of their pictures, even though you are fantastic at what you do. You are fantastic at what you do. There'll be some people who definitely will still not be happy no matter what you do. How do you do with people like that?
I think at the end of the day, it's more so of like talking to them, like what don't you like about it, and is it reasonable? Because some of the things are they ask for is just not reasonable. Like it doesn't make sense sometimes. Um, I have had a client where they gave me a product to shoot, and it was handmade, and every product is different. So they gave me five of the same products, but they're handmade and it's different. So when you
Right.
photograph each of the five, you're going to get different results.
Yes.
And they were unhappy about that. So I explained to them, it's not machine made, which will get it like spot on. It's handmade. So every item is going to be different. And it's not me who made it. But so I've photographed it to the best of my ability. And then they understood after a lot of back and forth. But yeah, we kind of agreed.
Have you
But
had instances where the client was unhappy, so you had to refund their money to them?
never, no,
Did you do
never.
that? Did you ever get to the
Uh,
point where you think I just want to refund their money to them? I'm tired of it.
there's one client that I initially, when in my early years of photography, I was going to cancel, and my mentor was like, "If you cancel, you've given up." And it just hit me, like it slapped me in my face, like it's too early to give up now. You got to keep going. So, and funny enough, now that client is a friend.
Right.
So yeah, but I've never had
Okay.
the instance where I've had to refund or give any money back.
So, apart from unhappy clients and maybe photographs don't turn out the way you expect, what would you say are some of the challenges in your industry?
Funny enough, I sometimes I do take images that I'm like, no, I don't like them,
Right.
and like when I'm about to deliver it to a client, I'm scared. But then you realize it's me being too critical on myself because I know where I want to be,
Right.
photography wise, and I haven't hit that place yet. So sometimes I can be very like critical of my work,
Right.
especially in posting on socials.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, there's one thing about you, Jyoti, that many people don't know about, that you are not only into photography, you do other things. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell us one other thing that you are into, which is unique?
Well, I'm into crypto. Um, I know Stephen spoke about it.
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency, yeah, cryptocurrency, which is I'm not a millionaire yet, hopefully soon, but yeah, which is I see it's gonna stay around for a little while. The whole cryptocurrency space, I don't see it like vanishing as people say.
Right. So that's that. Do you what do you do? Do you buy and sell crypto? Do you
Yeah,
how
I'm more of a long term holder, so I buy into like stuff which has good utility, um, and I hold for the long term.
are you
And
making good returns on that as well?
yeah,
Is it
yeah,
do you would you consider yourself skillful in that area?
it's more about doing your research
Okay.
and understanding like what they're trying to do, like with the utility. And I know there's a big case with the currency called XRP and the US courts, but if that goes through, then a lot of people will be very rich from it.
Okay. Okay, right. So we're coming to the end of the program. Just for those who join in late, you'll be talking to Mr. Jeffrey, or said to JOT for short. JOT is someone who has a talent of handling cameras and creating, I mean, beautiful photographs.
Yeah,
That started from being a simple hobby and has turned into global business. And the reason why we brought JOT is to kind of highlight the fact that sometimes we overlook some of the talents that we have, we overlook some of the hobbies that we have, and in fact you could actually turn your hobbies and your talent into something really profitable for yourself and for your family. So it is something worth looking into. So this is why we brought JOT. Jeffrey, just before we wrap up,
yeah,
there is you do have a slideshow that kind of
yeah.
tells us a little bit about the uniqueness of your business. So it
Yeah,
kind of shows the unique selling point of your business. So we're going to ask the technical director to take us through some of those slideshows
sure.
briefly, and then we can wrap up with some questions into what you will do in the future.
Okay. Um, Catching the ambience, the mood, and just the love in the room. Um, like getting in there with the couple. We didn't really show. I didn't want to show too much of like the couple's images because they're kind of personal and private. But yeah, their portraits, sorry, that I've taken of them, they really, really, really love them. And to the point that when the couple received their images, she said, "You're instantly booked for our maternity shoot and
Oh, wow.
all other events." So yeah, and it was actually at a unique place. It was at in Cornwall, a place called Carbious Bay where they held the G7. So now that they've had the G7 conference, it's like anything in Carbious Bay area, the price has just
Right.
gone
Right.
up. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's great. So this what's next big thing in your personal business life, JOT? What's the next
Um,
big thing?
I'm gonna be concentrating heavily in studio photography, so portraiture, so fashion, um, products, shoots, and then the main big thing that I'm planning to do is to
Get married.
that's next year. That's next year.
How did
And
I know? Okay. Just curious.
yeah, I wonder how do you know? You've been hacking my phone. But yeah, that's next year, and also to hold an exhibition where I'll give back about between 10 to 20% of the proceeds of the prints that I sell and take it back to Ghana to some sort of maybe orphanage or somebody who's in need, um, buy maybe medication and help the needy out in it's starting in Ghana because it's my home country, but spreading out to Africa. So yeah, it's more of a outreach and give back program.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Wow. Great.
but
I mean,
I'm planning to actually I'm trying to hold the exhibition within Deutsche Bank's lobby.
okay.
So that's what I'm trying to do. So the
Oh,
heavy
wow.
the heavy investors to buy
Wow.
the images.
Inspiring. I
Yeah,
mean, corporate social responsibility. It's always it's great to hear people talk about giving back. You've made it, but you're not selfish. You want to give back to
yeah.
people who are less fortunate than yourself, and it's always great to hear things like that. Congratulations.
Sorry, and another thing, if anyone's on this platform and they
Mhm.
actually want to learn photography, they can actually send me an email. I will tell you what I can tell you, teach you what I can teach you within reason. But if you're really, really serious, then I'm planning to do some workshops as well. So
Okay.
you can
So
take from
what I'll suggest is to anyone who is on the platform, if you want to get in touch with GOT, you can email us at business and experts forum at gmail.com. Business and experts forum at gmail.com. My technical director will put that on the screen. Yes, business and experts forum, one word, at gmail.com, and then we can get you in touch with JOT. Okay, you know what? The issue we have with this program is that there's always not enough time, but it's deliberate. We don't want to stretch it because we understand that we want to make it very focused and very brief so that people can watch it later and then enjoy the program. So it's been a real pleasure having you on the program. Please remember, if you have any questions for JOT and you were not able to put them in the chat, you can still send those questions to us on Business and Experts Forum at gmail.com. Business and Experts Forum at gmail.com. And we would definitely send those questions to JOT and get the
and I'll
responses
also
in
come
that too.
back to the YouTube clip to see if there's any messages there, and I'll reply back. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, and also you can put it on the YouTube as well. So, and then for weddings, you've got www.gotphotography.com. Remember, if you want to learn, yes, you can. So, just to wrap up, just a few things that the points that you made. I just want to highlight. We talked about mentorship and training. that has really helped you. It's been really helpful. And you talked about finding your niche.
Yeah.
Yep, and you talk about the fact that people shouldn't be afraid of getting close to get a shot. So
Yeah.
you started from using long lens until you got closer lens, and communication is key when it comes to dealing with your clients. So for anybody who is into business, it's important that you establish that relationship with your clients and have good communication with your clients. And it's the key thing is practice, practice, and
Yeah.
practice,
Yeah.
and get as much experience as
As
possible.
possible.
Right? That is really key. So it's been a real pleasure having you out here,
Thank you,
JOT.
Mr. Cato.
And I must say, just before we wrap up, just to
Yeah.
say to our audience, next on the program we're going to have a lady who is educationist. She is into educating young people, and she's doing it big globally, internationally, and based in Ghana. So she'll be joining us all the way from Ghana. As a lady who runs an international school as a principal and is making good strides in that area as well. So join us in 2 weeks on the same platform, 7 p.m. GMT, Business and Experts Forum. So JOT, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on this program. It's been a really informative program, and I'm sure my audience have also learned a lot on the program. And you are there as the audience. I always say on every program, without you, this program is going nowhere. So thank you for joining us on this program, and join us again in 2 weeks' time for more information where we share knowledge. Business and Expert Forum is for sharing knowledge with businesses and people. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.